distributed by Heroes Unlimited. Today we're going to discuss lessons in profanity, LIP, LIP, lessons in profanity. Now, today's lesson, we're going to talk about the words that people use as racial slurs. For the purpose of today's lesson, we're going to talk about the words that white people use to offend black people and the words that black people use to offend white people. Now, black people have been trying for years to find a word that we could call white people to insult them as a racial slur. I mean, it started a very long time ago. A white guy went out into the field and worked on a farm, and he came home that night and had a suntan on the back of his neck. And the black guy said, "You redneck." He said, "Yes, I have a suntan on the back of my neck. It is kind of red." And it really didn't offend them that much. He said, "Well, you peckerwood." A peckerwood, that's like a backwards woodpecker, like a woodpecker, a peckerwood. I mean, well, y'all go to party all the time at a place Saturday night called a honky tonk. Well, that makes y'all a bunch of honkies. Yes, but what is a tonk? We never could find anything to really get them real good, And one day, a black guy was in a diner trying to get a meal, and they wouldn't feed him. They said, "We don't serve your kind here. Get out." And there was a bowl of graham crackers on the counter and a bowl of saltine crackers on the counter. And he said, "But I'm hungry. Won't y'all feed me?" He said, "No, you got to go. Get out." He said, "Okay, I'll leave. But I'll tell you something. I'm going to take a bunch of these white crackers with me." And he grabbed a handful of saltine crackers. And everybody in the restaurant grabbed them and threw them out on the sidewalk. And when he got out there, he realized he still had a handful of saltine crackers. He said, "Wait a minute. Just then when I said I'm going to take a bunch of you white crackers with me, I thought they probably thought I was talking about them. I might be onto something here." And a white guy walked down the street and said, "Hey, cracker." He said, "Hey, don't call me that. I don't like it." And from that day on, black people decided that the word that we would use as a racial slur to insult white people we would call them crackers. Now, personally, I think we could have came up with something a little better than that, but you get what you get, huh? Now, on the other hand, white people have been insulting black people ever since they came off the boat from Africa. When they're walking on the boat, they say, "What should we call all these black people coming in from Africa? Let's call them jigaboos." Jigaboos. What's a jigaboo? A jig is an Irish dance, and a boo is what a ghost says to scare you. Jigaboo sounds like an Irish ghost. That's no good. Well, we could call them pickaninnies. Yeah, they're pickaninnies. A bunch of pickaninnies. Pickaninnies? That sounds like a card trick. Here you go, pickaninny, pickaninny. Go ahead, pickaninny. What'd you get? It's a jungle bunny. A jungle bunny. What's that? A big rabbit? That's bad. It's a porch monkey. What's a monkey doing on a porch? And that's back in slavery days. Now you got to remember. So the slave be like, "We ain't even allowed on the porch. We work out in the fields. How you gonna call us porch monkeys?" You a tar baby? What's that? A little baby falls into the tar on the street that's been paved, and he comes up and, "Oh, he's a tar baby." That doesn't. I don't get it. I don't know why they do this. That's just the way it goes, And then finally, the government steps in and says, "We got to find a name to call all these black people from Africa, so we can keep track of them." There's so many of them in here now. In different countries, the word black is called Negro, so let's call them Negroes. Hey, that's work. So they call us Negroes. But see, down south, they have that southern accent. They didn't say Negroes. They called them Negroes. Yeah, a bunch of Negroes on our farm, and we had a bunch of Negro slaves and all these Negroes. And as time went on, they said, we ought to drop the O at the end, because saying Negro sounds like we're talking about somebody Spanish or Italian or something. Let's just call them niggers. And that was the birth of the N-word. Now, since then, the N-word has been the number one most hated racial insult of all. I mean, no race at all likes to be called N-word. You call him, "You N-word." Say, "Hey, don't call me that. I'm a kike. How dare you call me the N-word?" Nobody wants to hear it. In fact, the N-word is the number one most hated racial black hated word to call black people. It's in our book. It says right here, if you call the N-word, this is a book of blackness, by the way. If you call a black person the N-word to his face, he has a right to punch you in your face. That's how much we hate that word. I could punch somebody in the face if they call me the N-word to my face. You know, that's how much we hate it. But now, the other day, I got an argument with this white guy, and he called me the N-word. But he didn't say the word. He said, "You N-word." I got ready to punch him. I'm like, well, no, I can't punch him in the face. He didn't say the word. I didn't know what to do. I get my book of blackness. He called me the N-word. Why called me the N-word? Okay, there's a digger. That's the thing that you use for digging. A trigger. That's a cowboy's horse. A igger. That's the N-word without the N. A Snickers. The hell is that doing in there? I don't know. I didn't know what to do. He called me the N-word. I went to a friend of mine. I said, "Hey, man, this guy called me the N-word." He said, "Well, did you punch him in the face?" I said, "Well, I got ready to, but he didn't say the word." "I thought you said he called you the N-word." "Well, he did, but he didn't say it." "He called you the N-word, but he didn't say the word." "Yeah. So what did he call you?" "What did he call you?" "He called me the N-word." You know, this is beginning to sound like an Abbott and Costello routine here. You know, like who's on first, what's on second. I don't know what's on third. Now, what did he call you? What's on second? Who? Who's on first? Huh? No, wait, listen. There's this word that starts with an N, has two G's and an ER at the end. Is that what he called you? No. So what did he call you? He called me the N-word. Well, can you use it in a sentence? Okay. They're having another Million Man March in Washington, D.C. So far, 750,000 N-words have shown up. Ooh. You know, that may be kind of a racial loophole, you know. That's like politically correct racism. Calling you the N-word by calling you the N-word, and what are you going to do? I mean, you can start panic that way. A white guy walked into a big crowded place and said, "N-word!" All the black people turn around and say, "Hey, what? Hey, wait a minute, what did he say?" You know, it's caused panic. I mean, they always find some kind of loophole to get around and stuff like that. I mean, I admit, you can't punch him in the face for that, but you should have at least slapped him. You know, see, we have to rewrite the book now. Get a new chapter in there and say, if somebody calls you the N-word, by calling you the N-word, you have to slap the shit out of them. You know, at least something. What'd you do? Well, I didn't know what to do. He called me the N-word. I looked at him and said, "Well, you mother effer." You know, I didn't know what to do. I mean, it had me confused. Well, you know, it gets like that, though. I went to a restaurant. I was driving down south, and it was way out in the country down there. I went to a roadside little cafe out there, way out in the boondocks. I walked in there and sat down. I was the only black person in the entire place. I looked around and said, "Hey, I'm surrounded by white people here." You know, I bet 100 years ago, they probably had a sign out in front that said, "No Negroes allowed." I was like, "Hey, this is the 21st century. I can sit in this restaurant, order something to eat." So a waitress comes over like Gonzo on the Muppet Show. Zip! "What do you want? What do you have? What do you want? What can I get you? What do you need? Huh? What do you have?" I said, "Well, the white guy in the next booth, he was here before I was. Said, forget about him. Let's just get you out of here. What do you want?" I said, "Well, maybe I'll order something fast. Give me soup and a sandwich. Yeah, a bowl of tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. That'll take about 5 minutes." "You got it." She walks next to the booth next door to the white guy. Said, "How may I help you, sir?" He said, "Well, I have the pork chops and gravy, some cornbread. Oh, you got collard greens? Give me the collard greens now. But on my collard greens, I want lots of hot sauce and some vinegar." "Hot sauce and vinegar?" "Yeah, hot sauce and vinegar." So you got it. Waitress walked back past my table. "Oh, waitress, when you bring my bowl of soup, could I have one saltine cracker, please?" I mean, what you gonna do, huh? Well, that concludes our lesson in profanity for today. And remember that today's lesson was only referring to the words that white people use to offend black people and the words that black people use to offend white people. Therefore, no harm was brought to any spicks, chinks, wops, gooks, Jews, Japs, camel jockeys, or donkey huggers. Thank you. Cracker! Where'd that come from? Oh, that was left over from the restaurant. He said vinegar twice, I owed him one. That's equality. Blue-eyed devils. Oh, you forgot that one.